Pain is an inevitable part of life. It can break us, or it can become the fuel for our greatest transformation. For many men struggling with pornography addiction and compulsive masturbation, the pain of shame, guilt, and wasted potential can feel overwhelming. Yet, within that pain lies an opportunity, a chance to redirect suffering into strength, discipline, and purpose. Nofap, the commitment to abstain from pornography and offer masturbation, is more than just a challenge. It is a path to self-mastery. The struggles faced along this journey are not meaningless. Every moment of resistance, every battle against temptation, and every relapse followed by renewed determination serves a greater purpose. This pain is not wasted. It is a fire that forges a stronger, more disciplined, and more purposeful man. Before there can be healing, there must be a confrontation with the wound. Pornography and masturbation on the surface seem harmless, a release, a moment of escape. But when that release becomes routine, daily, hourly, it turns into a prison, a quiet one that smiles while it strangles your will. I used to think I was in control, but the truth is I was running from my emotions, from my insecurities, from my desire to become more. Numb by pleasure, I ignored the deep ache of being disconnected from my purpose. That pain festered in my chest. A sense of emptiness, of watching life through a screen, not just in videos, but in my real relationships, my goals, my vision. The worst part wasn't the guilt after a relapse. The worst part was the hopelessness, the feeling that I would never escape, that I was just this way. But deep down, I knew that was a lie. I could feel it. Beneath the layers of shame, there was a fighter. The first day of Nofap is like standing at the bottom of a mountain you've never climbed. You're not just breaking a habit. You're breaking an identity. You're challenging the man you've been to become someone greater. The urges hit like waves. Your body protests. Your mind plays tricks. You start bargaining. Just once more. But that's the voice of the past pulling you back into the pit. Nofap is not easy. That's the point. It is a declaration of war against the easy life. It is choosing to suffer now so you don't suffer later. It is saying, I will feel this pain. I will feel this hunger. I will learn to sit in the fire without running to the quick fix. Every moment of struggle is a choice to evolve. The pain you feel is the pain of becoming. And as long as you stay conscious and present, that pain will have purpose. Sexual energy is powerful. It is creative, magnetic, and potent. Every time you retain your seed, you're storing life force. That energy doesn't just sit there. It rises. It moves. It demands to be expressed. On Nofap, you start to notice something. You walk taller. Your voice deepens. Your mind becomes clearer. Your goals start calling to you louder than ever. The same energy that once drove you to chase pixels can now be used to build, create, and conquer. I started using that energy to write, to train, to plan, to reflect. My workouts became more intense. My meditations deeper. My focus sharper. Women noticed. But more importantly, I noticed the pain of withdrawal turned into fuel. The sexual frustration turned into drive. Instead of being ruled by lust, I was ruled by vision, facing the demons. Nofap doesn't just fix your life. It reveals it. When you remove the distractions, the real you is left standing in the mirror. The fears, the loneliness, the unresolved trauma, the reasons you were fapping in the first place. I had to face my insecurity around women. I had to face the father wounds I pretended didn't matter. I had to face my fear of failure, of being seen, of being vulnerable. It was painful. There were nights I cried, days I doubted everything. But the promise remained. Your pain will have purpose. I started journaling. I started speaking truth over myself. I stopped hiding from discomfort and started walking into it. Every shadow I confronted gave me back a piece of my power. I became less reactive, more grounded. I didn't need validation. I didn't need porn to feel alive. I was alive. Masculinity is not toxic. It is sacred. It is protective. It is assertive. It is focused. And on Nofap, it begins to return. You begin to stand up straighter. You make eye contact with conviction. You enter rooms differently. Your presence becomes felt. Not because you're loud, but because you're aligned. There's a silent pride in holding your seed, in knowing you have the strength to deny yourself instant pleasure for the sake of long-term power. This is what kings are made of. The warrior within you begins to stir. He doesn't run from battles. He doesn't need to escape through dopamine. He looks life in the eyes and says, let's go. You begin to protect your energy. You stop chasing women. You let your mission attract them instead. You stop apologizing for wanting more out of life. You become intentional with your time, your thoughts, your actions. This transformation is not overnight. It's forged in the fire of discipline and the discomfort of restraint. But it is real, and it is worth it. The relapse isn't the end. Let me be honest. I've relapsed more than once, and every time I felt like I lost everything. But I didn't, because pain with purpose doesn't disappear. It deepens. After each fall, I learned something. I saw where I was weak, where I wasn't prepared, where I let emotions rule me. And instead of drowning in shame, I stood up again. Nofap is not about perfection. It's about perseverance. The relapse doesn't define you. The rebound does. Do you crawl back to the darkness or rise again, wiser and stronger? Every relapse carries a lesson. Every time you come back, your commitment becomes more serious. And eventually, the need to relapse fades, because you've changed. You're no longer the man who needs escape. You build a foundation within. You understand now. Your pain has made you. Purpose over pleasure. Why are you doing Nofap? It's not just to quit porn. It's not just to feel better. It's to become the man you were always meant to be. A man of purpose. A man of legacy. When your life has purpose, you don't have time to waste. You see every drop of your seed as sacred. Every moment of clarity as priceless. Every decision as shaping your destiny. You begin to live for something bigger than yourself. For your future wife. For your children. For the world you want to impact. Pleasure no longer controls you because purpose does. This is the ultimate shift. When your why becomes so powerful, it drowns out the urges. You're not just saying no to porn. You're saying yes to purpose. The world is full of men numbing themselves, running from the fire instead of walking through it. But not you, not me. We've chosen something different. We've chosen the path where our pain becomes purpose, our suffering becomes strength, and our discipline becomes destiny. This is more than Nofap. This is rebirth. This is the man returning to his throne. This is the warrior returning from exile. This is the king rising from the ashes. I look back at the nights I cried, the days I failed, the seasons I felt lost, and I don't regret them because they led me here. They made me who I am. They taught me what no pleasure ever could. So when I say my pain will have purpose, I'm not hoping, it's a fact. Every drop of suffering I endured has shaped the man I'm becoming, and that man is unstoppable. Subscribe and join our Telegram link below.